Hi everyone, Becky here. I'm going to talk to you today about how we can convert our customers to becoming really loyal Nature Sunshine clients so that they can experience the benefits that our products have to offer and also so that we can build a really successful business. So I've actually provided a worksheet to go with this talk, and you'll be able to download it from the Nature Sunshine website. I suggest that as you go through, you pause the video at certain points so you can actually fill out the statements on the form. It's fine to do this on your own. It's also really great to do it as a group so that you can share ideas. Okay, so let's get started. So section 1 is all about being a product of the product. I'm a huge believer in life that you can't with integrity promote or sell anything that you don't believe in yourself, and you can't really do it effectively. I don't know anyone in Nature Sunshine who is successful who doesn't personally use the products. And it's really important, if you're going to promote the benefits of these products to other people, that you have a genuine belief and a genuine story in what these products can do. So the first thing is, what products am I personally taking? So just take a minute now to write a list of the products you're taking. It might be that you've done a detox, it might be that you're taking some of the key system products, some of the daily nutrition products, but just write a list of the products that you're taking at the moment. Okay, the next point, what benefits have I experienced from taking the products? So it's really important to have your own story with Nature Sunshine, and many of you have heard me say this before, but I genuinely feel that I'm paying it forward when I recommend either the products or the business to somebody, because I have an absolute firm belief in what this company can do for people. So what benefits have you experienced from taking the products? It might be that you've experienced weight loss, increased energy, you might have noticed a difference in the condition of your skin. So just take a moment now to write a list of some of the benefits that you've experienced from taking the products. Okay, and the next point, what testimonials do I have from clients that prove to me that the products are effective? We often receive fantastic testimonials from customers of Nature Sunshine products about the effects the product's going to have, and some of these effects really are quite life-changing. So I recommend, if you're doing this as a group, share amongst you the testimonials that you've had from clients, and just make a list of them now. That this will just help to reinforce and remind you, I suppose, of how effective the products can really be and how much you really are helping people by recommending them. Okay. So section number 2, why we need to supplement. You can't have a Nature Sunshine business unless you believe in natural health and in supplementation. It just simply won't work. But even if you have a belief in supplements, it's important to understand the reasons why we need to supplement, because you will get objections from clients. You will get people asking, well, why do I need to take products? So it's important to have that knowledge and that understanding. So first of all, just take a moment to write a list of some of the objections you've had from clients about taking supplements. And it doesn't matter how good we are at promoting these supplements, all of us will have had objections at some time about taking the supplements. What you find is the more confident you become, the less you get the objections, because you get what you focus on in life. But also the more successful you become at answering those objections, and the more people you're able to convert. So what are some of the objections I've had about taking supplements? Just take a moment to list those now. The next point, how could I overcome these objections? So what could you say to people to overcome some of these objections? And it's great to do this in a group. And if you're not sure, it actually leads us on quite nicely to the next point, which are the top 5 reasons for taking a supplement program. Before I go into the reasons that I would give, again I would advise that you pause the tape for a moment and just take a few minutes to write down some of the reasons that you believe we need to supplement. So the things that I often quote to clients are first of all the fact that none of us eat a perfect diet, because nobody actually knows what a perfect diet is. I know there was a study done where they got a team of top nutritionists to go away individually and write down what they believed the perfect diet was, the perfect balance of vitamins and minerals, etc. And they all came back with completely different answers, and that's because none of us really know what the perfect diet is, and our bodies are all different, so what works for one person doesn't necessarily work for another person. And there's so much conflicting information out there, especially if people go on the internet, that often people think they're eating a very healthy diet, but they might not be really getting everything they need. So that's the first point. The second point is that people eat very differently to how we did even 50 years ago. 50 years ago we didn't need to supplement the way we do now because people cooked proper food. It was more of a priority. People sat down to eat their food properly, so therefore our digestion was working a lot better, and people often had locally grown food that had a higher nutrition content. Today we're able to source all different types of fruits and vegetables throughout the year that aren't in season, so therefore don't necessarily contain the same level of nutrition that they should. The other important point to mention is about modern day farming methods. The big supermarkets are not interested in our nutritional needs. They're interested in providing us with food that looks a certain way, is a certain shape, certain size, certain colour, and it's all done really for commercial gain. So our food often will be sprayed with lots of different types of pesticides. It can then be in cold storage for long periods of time, and often food is actually picked far too early. When you see bananas in the supermarket, often they're green. Those bananas haven't had a chance to ripen, so therefore the nutrition hasn't fully developed in the food. So somebody can be going to a supermarket and buying all their fruit and veg with the best intentions, but it doesn't necessarily mean it contains all the valuable nutrition. Often by the time we get the fruit and veg home, there's no... It's pretty empty in terms of nutrition because it's been in cold storage for so long, because it's been picked far too early. So often the food doesn't contain the nutrition that our body requires. So those are just some of the reasons we need to supplement. Another thing I always point out to clients is that there's a certain vitamin that it's very difficult to get from our food and that we're really lacking in the Northern Hemisphere, and that's vitamin D, which is the sunshine vitamin. There's been a lot in the press about this recently, so clients are often aware about the fact that we are lacking vitamin D. We've had a reoccurrence of rickets, especially in children, so the media have taken a real interest in this, and certain groups are actually being prescribed vitamin D by their doctors. So people are aware that there are certain vitamins and minerals that we are lacking in and that it's very difficult to get from food alone. The other mineral that I quote to clients is magnesium, because magnesium is lacking so much in our soil, and the Earth Summit report demonstrated this in 1992. It showed that we've had a huge lack in the levels of minerals in our soil over the last 100 years. So if the minerals aren't in our soil, they won't be in our food, and therefore they won't be on our plate. So something as simple as taking a really good multivitamin and mineral can just really help to bridge those gaps which are in everybody's nutrition. Okay, so moving on to the next point, the Nature Sunshine difference. So there's lots of supplement companies out there. Why should you choose Nature Sunshine, and why should your customers choose Nature Sunshine? So I think the first point to look at is what are the differences between synthetic supplements and organic food-based supplements. So again, just take a minute to write down anything you understand about the differences. And this is how I've come to understand it, that there's a huge spectrum when it comes to supplements. I can buy own brand cod liver oil tablets for 30p, but you couldn't pay me to take them because I know what's in them. So you've got that end of the spectrum all the way up to Nature Sunshine products. So at the bottom end of the spectrum, often the products are synthetically made, they're made in a lab, they're not food-based products, so therefore the body just simply doesn't recognise the biochemistry of those products. So really people are just literally, flushing their money down the toilet when they're buying synthetic products because the body just simply doesn't recognise them. And if you look at the ingredients on some of these synthetic products, they have bulking agents, things like talcum powder in there because it's just a cheap, nasty ingredient and they're allowed to bulk up products with. So just looking at the ingredients in some of these products, you can see the level of quality. And this is the huge difference between some companies on the market and Nature Sunshine. And Nature Sunshine manufacture all of their own products, and the body can recognise them and utilise them because they are food-based and the ingredients are either organically sourced or wildcrafted, so they're to a very high standard. So it's exactly the same with food. You really do get what you pay for. If I buy cheap food, I can't expect there to be any nutrition in there. If I buy organic food, I can expect it to be much higher in nutrition, and it's exactly the same with supplements. So the next point then, what do Nature Sunshine test for to guarantee the quality of their products? So again, just take a few minutes and write down anything that you can remember about what Nature Sunshine actually tests for. there's a few things that I mention to clients if ever I'm asked the question. The first thing is that Nature Sunshine test every batch of raw material that comes into their plant. Nature Sunshine own an award-winning manufacturing plant and the standards are absolutely superbly high. Every batch of raw material that enters the plant is tested, so it's not skip batch tested, absolutely everything is tested, and they perform over 500 different tests on every batch of material that comes in. One of the first things they test for is for any pesticides or herbicides, so they can guarantee that the products don't contain any pesticides. Nature Sunshine also tests for radiation, which is really important after the nuclear disaster that happened in Japan and how that's affected the seas and also soil crops in different parts of the world. And Nature Sunshine also tests to make sure that all the active ingredients are in the particular plant or herb, just to make sure that it's got all the nutrition in there that Nature Sunshine say that it's got. So those are just some of the things that Nature Sunshine tests for. But what I recommend you do is get some copies of their quality assurance brochure, because that goes into all the different tests, and that's something that you can show your clients as well. And it is important that you are aware of the real difference between Nature Sunshine and some other companies on the market. Okay, so now we've looked at Nature Sunshine and the Nature Sunshine difference, as I like to call it, and now we're going to look at how we can actually talk to clients about the products and really get our message across. So the first thing we're going to look at is wants versus needs. It's perfectly normal for people not to want things that they actually need, and let's just explain the difference between needs and wants, because often when we're trying to sell something to clients we focus on what they need rather than what they want. So as an example, everybody needs to go to the dentist. They might not necessarily want to go to the dentist. Somebody might want to buy a Ferrari, they might not need to buy a Ferrari. Somebody might want a tattoo, they don't need a tattoo. People are motivated by things that they want, not necessarily by things that they need. So how does this transfer to products? Well, okay, let's take an example, Cyanoprotein. I could talk to a client about how the benefits of Cyanoprotein containing all the essential amino acids. My client isn't going to be interested in that unless they particularly know some stuff about nutrition. But if I was to say to a client that it helps to balance blood sugar levels, that it really helps with weight management, it's great for hair, skin and nails, that's something they want to achieve rather than something that they need. So with the products, it's important to focus on what people want. So the first section on here is what are the top things that my clients want to achieve and how could the products help to achieve that. So again, just pause the tape and take a few moments to write down, okay, what do my clients want to achieve and how can the products help them to achieve that. Okay. And the next point is creating a long-term customer, and this is important because you want your customers to benefit from the products long term, and some of us know that especially with the Key System products it can take up to 90 days for people to really feel a difference, but also you want your business to really grow long term. So it's not enough for somebody just to purchase a one-off product. You want that customer to remain loyal to you and to remain loyal to Nature Sunshine. So how can we do that? The first point is how can I get my client to commit to taking a supplement program? So again, just think about different ways that you can really get your client to commit to taking a supplement program from you. Nature Sunshine have got a fantastic system called the Autoship system where clients can actually receive the products on a monthly basis. They have a standing order direct with the company, so the company will actually post out the products direct to the consumer. And so then they're not going to run out of products and it will remind them to keep taking them. Because often with clients, especially in the early days, they will forget to take their products and they'll run out and they'll think, I must reorder, and they'll forget. So don't be afraid to prompt people at the beginning. I always send out a monthly text message to all of my customers telling them that I'm placing an order, can I get them anything? And often people come back and say, oh yeah, great, I need this. If I hadn't sent them that text message, they might not necessarily contact me. They run out of products, they forget to take them, and they're no longer a loyal customer. So never worry about just sending out a monthly prompt to your clients. And when people do start taking products, I think it's really important that you keep in touch with them and ask them how they're getting on, and ask them, you know, are you taking the products every day, and just keep prompting them. And at the beginning, if you've done a lifestyle analysis with your client, which I highly recommend you do, arrange to meet with them again in 3 months' time to complete the lifestyle analysis and just have a look at where they're at, so they can visibly see an improvement in their health, which will really motivate them, and perhaps you can reassess and just look at the different products they should be taking. Okay. The next point, how can I educate my clients so that they stay motivated and informed? And I think this is really important. It's really important to pass on any information, any knowledge that you learn. You know, I've done different nutrition courses before I came on board with Nature's Sunshine, and I can honestly say that I've learned more about nutrition from the free training I've had from Nature's Sunshine than I have on any course that I've paid a lot of money to go on. So that is a huge benefit of being part of Nature's Sunshine, that the amazing free training that you do receive. So I think it's important to really pass that training and information on to your customers and clients. This might be in the form of a monthly newsletter, something which is quite easy to create and you can email to people. Some people in my team have great newsletters that they send to their clients. Another thing is perhaps inviting clients to any talks that are happening in your area about particular health topics. I've done that before and found that to be really useful. So it's all just about keeping people informed and keeping them in touch, and directing people to your website. You know, there's lots of ways, and also holding talks. Speak to your upline about perhaps holding regular talks for your clients and just people that might be interested in different health topics. So there's lots of ways that you can keep people informed and keep people educated, which really is what this business is all about. And finally, how can I create loyalty and incentivise my client to remain a good customer? I think really this is just reiterating the last point about keeping your client informed, keep doing regular lifestyle analysis questionnaires on them, you know, keep in touch with them, perhaps make them aware of any offers that Nature's Sunshine are doing as well. And making people preferred customers, I always think, is a really good idea. If somebody's been on the products for a couple of months and they're happy, they want to stay on the products, why not make them a preferred customer? And then you know they're always going to order through your website, through your business, and you'll always benefit from the commission and keep a customer long term. I hope that's been useful. Thank you.